Hey everyone, welcome to Can't Afford to Record, the YouTube channel where we figure out the art of audio production together. I'm Robby Miller and this is my 3-month progress episode. If you're new here, then thank you for stopping by and thanks for checking out this video. Perhaps you're just like me and creating music on your MacBook Air. I'm in my basement, perhaps you're in your apartment doing the same thing. And that's what Can't Afford to Record is all about. It's about creating with what you have around you. I'm trying to figure out audio production and get better at recording and mixing, and actually that segues nicely into what this episode is all about. COVID-19 hit the world and impacted many of us work-wise. I used to rely a lot on gigging and performing, and that definitely dried up. So when lockdowns and restrictions and whatnot came into place, I decided I'm going to make the absolute most of this time, and I am going to go in deep and learn as much about audio production as I possibly can. So I started this channel, Can't Afford to Record. Now, I've always had an interest in recording, but I never pushed it very far. I'd open up Logic Pro maybe once a month to record a riff idea. And yes, I definitely watched a lot of YouTube videos about mixing and recording, but I started to realize pretty quickly that just watching YouTube videos and buying plugins won't make me a better mixer or engineer. So I created Can't Afford to Record with one true intention, and that is to get better at audio production. Whether it's mixing, editing, recording, mastering, I want to explore all of it. Instead of opening up Logic Pro once a month and hoping I would get better, I gave myself the challenge of recording something once a week, learning a new technique, and then talking about it. A weekly learning journal, if you will, and using YouTube to document everything. As well as doing all this, I wanted to speak to people that do this for a living. So with some persistent networking over the past many years and definitely pulling in some favors, I started a Can't Afford to Record podcast. And with this, I've been able to ask questions and learn from some really talented engineers, mixers, and producers, all who have been more than willing to share their experiences with me and anyone else that wants to listen. If you haven't checked out my podcast, by the way, I do video versions and upload those to YouTube, but if you want to hear just the audio one, then check out the links in the description below, and that will take you to all the right places. So what do I feel the last 3 months have taught me? Well, although it still confuses me a lot from time to time, I feel like I am starting to get a better grip on compression. Knowing how to set the parameters, but also, and more importantly, trusting my ears that I'm choosing the right settings has been a huge hurdle to overcome. And if you're interested, I also have a little mini series here on the channel called 2dB or not 2dB. That is compression. And I basically use it to explore different types of compressors and adding compression onto different instruments and learning different settings and different ideas with it all. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing that mini series. I haven't talked about it much in some of my recent videos, but I do feel like I'm starting to get quicker at using an EQ now. Learning where those troublesome frequencies are on different instruments and how to maybe remove some of the room sound. Obviously, this room isn't the best acoustically treated room in the world. Not only that, but using different frequencies to help gel with different instruments, learning how to make a mix rather than constantly EQing with the instrument on solo. That's another hurdle I'm trying to get over, trying to EQ while I'm listening to the whole mix. And as far as on EQs, I do use a few different ones. I don't know what it is, I just feel like those tactile looking controls make me a little bit more confident when I'm making different EQ moves. Like if I had a guitar amp and I was asked to dial in a good guitar tone, I would be able to do it so quickly, I feel, because I've been doing it obviously a much longer time, but I just like the sort of the connection you have when you're moving a control, which is obviously not the case in a plugin. Obviously this is all just in my head, but I don't know, I feel a little bit more confident moving something that looks like an actual control knob rather than a frequency band. But hey, I am totally open to changing my mind when I get more confident on other types of EQs. Bass. I feel like I understand bass a lot more now. Now I know there are many ways to get a bass guitar to sit in a mix, but honestly learning about splitting the frequencies and having everything under 200 on a track and having everything over 200 on a track, adding some distortion on those higher frequencies and then blending them together, that was such a big deal for me learning about that. It probably is mixing 101 for many of you and very elementary and like it's not a big deal, we do this all the time, but that was a really big learning curve for me, and I look forward to learning about more of those little tips and tricks as I progress. But here we are. The biggest thing that I've learned in the past 3 months here on Can't Afford to Record is recording mixing and working on music on a regular basis. Not just doing it when I get inspired. I gave myself the challenge to put out a video every week, and that's what I'm trying to do. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll see that I record more often than not a little jam track, and then I mix it, and that'll be something to do with what I'm talking about in the video. I might be working on an EQ, or I might be adding compression and trying different compression techniques, but I had to record something in the first place. So that regular recording has definitely helped me. It's given me that muscle memory of knowing where to put the microphone, or knowing how far away I want the microphone from my guitar, or knowing what level to set the controls on my interface, or knowing what kind of chain I want straight away on my vocals or on my acoustic guitar. And the analogy I'll use is to do with the language. If you learn a new language, you will get better at that language the more you speak it. The more you surround yourself with people that are also learning that same language, the more you speak to someone that is fluent and speaks that language all the time and is willing to speak back to you in that language to help you get better. The more I record, the more I mix, the more I just talk to a camera about it, the better I'm gonna get. And while it's nice to see that people do enjoy some of the videos, I don't have 1 million subscribers, I don't have millions of views, but what I will have over the time is a portfolio, a progression learning journal, and how I've progressed and how I've gotten better with audio production. So I'm really looking forward to looking back at some of these videos sometime in the future and seeing how far I've come. Although sometimes it feels like I'm progressing very slowly. Anyway, I think that's about it from me rambling on today, but it was just pretty cool to hit that 3-month mark. I'm looking forward to doing 6 months and then a year. Maybe I'll do a video for both of those too. If you liked today's video, hey, why not leave me a thumbs up? And if you liked it more than that, you could join the channel. Subscribe here at Can't Afford to Record. Thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.